And then I have to give up all views, which is the thing about emptiness. And these things, these mind training, it helps us with that. Because we have two enemies, only two. Luckily. Which are who? What? What are these two enemies that we have?
Illusions and karma.
Huh?
Illusions and karma.
No, these are the causes for our suffering. Yeah, it has to do with ignorance. It's good.
Craving.
Ignorance and craving.
What kind of ignorance do we have?
She said
That we
craving.
don't see.
Believing in a self, believing in a separate self, grasping at it, self-grasping.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one. Then, because we believe in it, cherishing it. These are the two enemies that we have.
Again, believing in
Then can you separate
separate
self?
self, עצמי נפרד. שאני נפרד
A
מאחרים.
seemingly self-existent I appears. It looks like it. I look at you and say, oh, you're such an idiot, I thought you were studying this, now you don't know anything. What is this? And I keep going and going and going. All of a sudden it's like, she is insulting me. Yeah, the feeling here, me, I. It feels very, very real. Then you look for it, you can't find it. But because we never look for it, we take it for granted that it's there, and we behave as if it's there. We kind of protect it. How does she dare that to say to me? I say it to somebody else that you don't like, you think, oh, good thing that she's finally telling her the truth that she's an idiot. Because that's your view about her. So that the same action makes you happy because it's her, it's not you. Or the other way around, same. You were happy that I tell her that she's an idiot. It's just an example, okay? People don't know it. So this I appears and we grasp at it as if it's real. And then we cherish it, meaning we want it to be well. We do what it tells us to do. Go and harm this person, they will then suffer and they will learn from their suffering, or whatever stupid thing. Scream at the person now, Tell the person that he's an idiot, it will make him more intelligent. I think this is what is behind all this screaming. People scream at each other because they think it will make them more intelligent, that they can do their job properly, but it's doing totally the opposite. It makes them insecure, and then they, or they scream back. They use their own aggression, and whatever is aggression inside or outside, it makes the mind unclear. Yeah? So the two bodhicittas, there's two bodhicittas, okay? One bodhicitta is the conventional bodhicitta, which is verse number 1 until 7. That's the conventional bodhicitta, things that we do with others. That gets rid of the self-cherishing, or, as you said very rightly, diminishes it, because it goes against that ego who wants something. The 8th verse is ultimate bodhicitta, because it talks about emptiness. So it's kind of, you talk about fairness there. It's kind of, you go like, you have all this hard work to do. Verse 1 till 7. And then they tell you, but these people that you have been working with, they don't even exist. So you go like, huh? So why am I doing all this? So I could just sit back and relax and that's it. Is it like that? No, because both of these two enemies need to be diminished so that we can recognize, especially the absence of inherently existent I. Yeah. This is why it comes at the end and not at the beginning. In Chekhava's thing, there is emptiness is at the beginning. Because he says, without emptiness, it's too difficult to practice. Makes it much more like a game. You see, if you know that it is all about this ego play here that we start to recognize as non-existing ego, yeah, then it becomes like a game, what we're doing here. We don't take it so personally. We're not so afraid. Makes it easier. The danger there is that we fall into nihilism, and you go, okay, then I don't need to do anything whatsoever because, it's all empty. And this is where the wonderful teachings on emptiness become poison. When people who goof up start to use emptiness, goof up, meaning making mistakes, or behaving in a really not great way. And they say, well, what are you complaining about? It's all empty. You work with your own ego, you know? Then it's nihilism, and then it's a total misunderstanding of emptiness. Because there's not just emptiness, there's also conventional reality where there's karma. So this non-existent I will get the results, and then it starts to rebel and creates more negative karma. Yeah. But if things get tough and difficult, and you can think, this is just a movie. I have this role, I cannot give it to somebody else. I have it. How do I want to play it? Do I want to be the victim? Or do I want to use my intelligence to see how I can calm the situation? This you have, this you can do. And then you take it less personally if you just think, it's just a movie. Because we're just all in a movie. Each one has his own movie. Sometimes we're the victim, sometimes we're the hero, sometimes we're the director, we're very clever and we start to write the play. We play all the roles ourselves. It's that kind of clear, these two enemies that we have. With these 8 verses, you have the tools to work with both of them. The path is wisdom and method. Wisdom has to do with ultimate truth, method has to do with conventional truth. And you cannot separate these two. You can't say, I just go into emptiness and goodbye. They're dependent on each other. Without conventional truth, you don't have ultimate truth. Without ultimate truth, you don't have conventional truth. If there is no emptiness of this watch, like meaning there's no real watch, if this would be a real watch, it would have been, it has to be been a watch since beginningless times, because otherwise it cannot be other than watch, if it's a real watch. You can't say, now it's a watch and then it's parts of watch, because parts of watch is not watch. Yeah. So the emptiness of it is that it's a conventional phenomena, something that shows the time, something that we label I, watch, or you, a Schauen or something. Schauen. In Switzerland is a Uhr, and so like that. So the conventional reality, that is, it has a function. The emptiness of it is that it's empty of being a real watch. So if you don't have conventional reality, where's the ultimate reality? Where's emptiness of watch if you don't have watch? If the watch is real, you cannot have conventional reality. It cannot exist. If things would exist without causes and conditions from their own side, they could not exist.
Form is emptiness, emptiness
This
is
is
form.
form, exactly. Form is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not other than form. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition factor, no consciousness. There's no I, no ear, no nose, no blood, no tongue, no mind. That's it.
סוטות הלב, פאז'נה פעמית.
So,
if you take the watch apart, when it stops to be a watch?
That's a good question. When I take you apart, where do you stop to be Itai? One
When
leg,
you take
one,
the beard
no,
and
wait.
the glasses.
One leg missing, 2 legs missing, 1 arm missing. Oh, Is Itai the head? Because you say one like this. Are you only the head? If the head is missing, your mom sees your body, wouldn't she say, oh, Itai is there? So what do you think?
It's hard to answer that.
Is it hard or impossible?
With the army.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Huh?
You see pieces of persons, or it's horrible. Here, when people died in the army and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can see pieces of somebody, but they will still say, this is the person. And if, like, the name of the person, the mother will recognize her son.
That's what I mean. But only somebody who is very close to you, some other people would say,
Yeah.
You see, do I have a pen?
Ed.
Anyway, we'll have to stop. So, I need to be able to take it apart.
מישהו יש עת מתפרק?
I'm sure.
This is a pen, right? So let's say this is Itai. So when does the pen stop being a pen? No.
I still say it's a pen.
So this is the pen?
Yeah.
So where's the pen gone?
Conventional without this
Okay,
part.
you see, if this is a real pen, when does it stop being a pen? Because it needs to go somewhere.
When it takes, when you take one part.
Only one with the pen. Okay, if I would have, because there's pen sometimes where you can take away this or you can take away that.
And it's still writing.
Okay, so let's say I cannot, because it's plastic. Let's say I would have taken away that. Is it still a pen if that piece is missing?
No.
Yeah, yes, no.
It stops being a pen when it stops writing.
What is a pen?
Are you sure that this writes?
It wasn't a pen in the beginning.
I don't know, I didn't try.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know. Maybe, sometimes is, when you say this argument, you see a car that is totally rusty and, not functioning somewhere in the field because somebody deposited it. You drive by, you say, which idiot deposited that car there? Is it like a car? When you say this argument, when you say it stops being a pen when it doesn't write. But we don't know if it writes or not. The car we label car, even though everybody sees it's not working anymore. When is a forest a forest? One tree? Yes or no? 2 trees? 3 trees? 4 trees? 5 or 10? Some people say, a small forest. It's never been a pen. Somebody said it's never been a real pen. It's only parts of pen. You see? We say this is a pen, and we're convinced it's a pen existing separate from my own mind out there. And if it does, we need to find it. But where is it? Is this pen? Is this pen? Is this pen? Sometimes people say, when this writes, is it a pen? You say yes. You go to a shop, I'm the shopkeeper. You say, I would like a pen. I bring you this. What would you say?
This is a refill.
This is not a pen.
It's a feeling.
You would be totally outraged that I want to sell you this as a pen. Yeah? So all these are parts of pens. This is how we talk. But when we take it apart like this, where is the pen? So how can the pen still possess these parts when it's disappeared? If this would be my pen, I would be the possessor of this pen. I could throw the pen away, I still exist. This is what possessor means. A possessor has to be able to exist separate from what it possesses. But the pen is totally dependent on the parts. And so you can break down the parts until infinitum, and then you have quantum physics, and you have quarks. Now it's not neurons anymore, now it's quarks. Or something like that. I have no idea what this is. Everybody repeats it. Everybody seems to know about it. I don't know what quarks are, but anyway, it's nice.
It sounds good.
Yes, sounds great, and that's what the scientists
Quarks
say.
is cheese.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the scientists say. Do you understand this? And this is the same for us. We think that there's a separate I, me, a third entity that possesses the body and the mind. This is why we say my mind. My body. Well, whose body? Whose mind? You take away the body, you take away the mind. What is still there? So you see, if you want to talk in terms of I, then we have to recognize we have many I's. Every time I'm sad or happy or fresh or tired, the I changes. And it's not an I, it's just a mind state or a body condition. I'm cold. Where? We say, where's your eye? We say, here. Well, when I say, I'm cold, is it cold in here? No, it's cold in here. The hand is cold. You see, on a conventional level, everything is a dependent arising. And we don't see it like this. We see it as self-existing, separate from our mind outside there. A world without my mind, for me, does not exist. And then people ask questions like, but how does the world exist without minds? We have no idea. We will never know. Because it's only minds who can experience something. If there's no minds, there's also no more world. Because nobody will be there to experience it. It's impossible to experience something without a mind. And what our mind sees is not what is there, it's just a reflection of what is there. And you see, when I look at you, I could find you incredibly attractive or incredibly ugly. So what are you, ugly or attractive? Does it depend on you if you're ugly or attractive, or does it depend on my mind who sees you as that? What do you think?
The mind, don't you?
Totally on the mind, totally. You know, in the South Pacific, if you're thin, you're poor and horrible and no good. Nobody wants thin women. You want fat people. That's beauty. And it's amazing. I don't know, anybody has been to South Pacific? Tonga, Samoa, Tahiti? No? The way these women, these fat women, walk is so gracefully because they have nothing to hide, because it's a sign of beauty. And here is like, you know, you hide, you cover, yeah. They dance in such nice ways because they're proud of their body when it's big. Convention. That's all. Convention. That's it. I remember I was maybe 40 when I was in South Pacific. A young man came to flirt with me on the beach. So I said, come on, I could be your mom. And then he said, no, my mom is like this. But then I said, but I'm the same age. And he said, yeah, okay. So it's just convention. So these two things we have to, the emptiness and the conventional truth, which is compassion, which is karma, which is impermanence. All this goes into the conventional level. Okay? So I know we didn't discuss much the fifth verse, but it's easy. I mean, that's it. There's a mistake somewhere, you take the blame. You take that stinky football, and you say, okay, I'll keep it for a while, then we see. Then, as you said, you're quiet. You wait what happens. As you said, what happened? Nothing. Instead of the violence going around and the screaming going around, nothing happens. People went back to work. That's it. But again, use your wisdom. I mean, if mistakes happen and they keep happening, and say, it was me, that's also not skillful. Yeah. So you need to use your wisdom. But the worldly wisdom, not the wisdom about emptiness, but the worldly wisdom. When will it be of benefit that I take the blame? Whenever I can. So, same as when His Holiness says, you should always react with kindness. If ever possible, you should always react with kindness. And then he stops and then he says, it's always possible to be kind. Mm-hmm. So, it's as simple as that. Mm-hmm. If somebody blames you, then you say sorry. If it's for some stupid thing, there's absolutely no significance. Even then we start to fight. No, I didn't do it. You say, oh yeah, sorry, I did. Sorry, I'm sorry. What shall we do now? It's always the best thing. When mistakes have been made, you say, I'm sorry, what shall we do now? Instead of remaining there and starting to blame. Yeah. So this is why it's not difficult to understand what it says. And especially it talks about the people who are jealous of you. It talks about those people. So it doesn't talk that somebody murdered somebody and then you don't know who that is and then you go and say, it's me. It talks about specific people, people that you know. So you offer them the victory. Oh, you're so great, Because when somebody is jealous of us, don't we have problems to recognize when they did something good, to express it? No? You don't have? Yeah.
Okay.
Huh? We have problems. We see it, but we don't say, wow, that's really great what you did here, isn't it? We can, it would be good. And you see, then the fear of the person is also gone, because then you are not in your afraid mode, you're in the kindness mode. And the kindness mode is not afraid of people and doesn't want to change people. It's also, I read this somewhere, it's not from the Buddha, but I found it fantastic. It said, we don't have to change people. We only have to like them. That's it. Because when we like somebody, we're so tolerant and we're really trying to do what is good for them also. It's so simple. And we talk 2 hours, even more. Right? So that's it. You don't have to change people, you only have to like them. So thank you very much for coming. So we dedicate all the positive energy that we have created together, that we are able to practice these mind trainings, not to destroy us, but actually to make us stronger and more relaxed, less afraid of not getting what we want, because from the beginning we decide, I will take what I don't want. Then the fear of not getting what you want goes. Okay, thank you very much. If you're interested in these practices, we're going to do a whole weekend on Tonglen in Falun, which is the seventh verse here. That will explain why we do Tonglen, and then with different categories of people. There we really do the practice. There we meditate on it. We don't just talk about it.
This is in this weekend?
No, this weekend is the 8th. This weekend is the 7th mind training. No, this weekend is nothing.
The next one.
I think at the end of the month is
Yeah,
Falun.
it's 30.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are interested in learning the technique of doing Tonglen, then you're very welcome.
I have all the dates, you can ask him later.
Huh? Anyway, you see it in the Dharma Friends webpage. So we dedicate all the positive energy that everybody is able to practice these practices, so that, because we could have harmony and peace in the world, we could, there's enough for everybody. But because we're always afraid of not getting enough, we start to accumulate far too much. So maybe may these practices help with that fear, that we trust. There is always continuity, sometimes worse than it was now, but somehow there's always continuity and we get used to things. So may all beings be able to kind of access their potential of basic goodness, basic spaciousness and basic wisdom, so that we can all live that potential as quickly as possible. May all our teachers, especially His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness Karmapa, all other teachers who teach the path to full enlightenment, have long and stable lives. May all their wishes be instantaneously fulfilled, and may there be peace and harmony, not just in this area, but all over the planet and in the universe. Thank you very much.